Okay, we are making a low carb orange loaf cake, and we're going to start off with mixing the dry ingredients. So we're using 2 cups of almond flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of salt, and half a cup of powdered sweetener. I'm using powdered monk fruit. And so we're just gonna whisk that together just to mix all the ingredients together, just so that they're well combined. I like to use a whisk when I do this. You could sift your dry ingredients together. Lots of people like to do that. So this orange loaf cake is mostly made with an orange extract for that orange flavor. We add orange zest in the wet mixture, and we're gonna add orange cream cheese frosting on top. Leave a well in the center, set that aside, and we're gonna mix the wet ingredients. And then we'll mix the wet with the dry ingredients. So for the wet ingredients, we have 3 large eggs, 1 teaspoon of orange extract. Now you can use more depending on how strong you like that orange flavor. I'm using 1 teaspoon, but if you want, you can use 2 teaspoons. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, zest from half an orange. I didn't zest the entire orange, just half of it. I'm gonna use the other half in the frosting that we put on top. And then we have our melted unsalted butter. This has been melted in the microwave, it's been cooled, and it's 1/3 cup of unsalted butter. So we're gonna whisk that together. Okay, once you whisk till it's well combined, you can bring back the dry ingredients. Pour the wet in there. Actually use a rubber spatula just to get it all in there. Now you're just gonna mix, fold everything in until it's well combined, and then press down with the rubber spatula just to make sure everything really gets creamed in there. You should preheat your oven to 325 degrees. Grease and line a loaf pan, a 9 by 5 inch loaf pan, and then line it with parchment paper. Grab your loaf pan. Now these loaves don't rise very much because it's made with almond flour, but they still turn out really well. Taste really good. Now you're just gonna smooth it out and spread it out to all the corners. And we're gonna go in the oven at 325. Just watch it and poke it with a toothpick. And if it comes out clean, it's done. Some ovens vary, so that's why I say to watch it. Okay, here we go. Okay, so the orange loaf is out of the oven. I'm gonna let it completely cool before I remove it from the pan, otherwise it may fall apart. But you see the top has a nice golden crust on it, and that's what I wanted. So I'm going to show you how to make the frosting next. So for the frosting, we have a 4-ounce block of cream cheese that's been softened. I actually microwaved it for 20 seconds after it's been softened just to make it even more softer. And we have a 1/4 cup of powdered sweetener. Now we're gonna mix this together, and if it's too thick, I have some heavy cream on standby if I need to make it a little softer. Now it's going to look a little hard at first. Actually, I probably should use a rubber spatula for this because it's gonna get stuck in the whisk, right? So I swapped to a rubber spatula only because the whisk keeps catching everything inside the whisk, and I forgot. That happened to me last time I made this. So Lesson learned again. So you're basically just mixing it and pressing down and just incorporating that cream cheese with the sour cream. There's no sour cream in here. The cream cheese with the sweetener. Until it's well combined and nice and creamy. And it's already starting to look like it. I probably don't need the heavy whipping cream here. So we're going to top the loaf with this, and then we're just gonna add some orange zest on top, and that'll be it. Now, if you want this to be orange in color, you can add some food coloring to it, some natural food coloring. If you want, you can even add it to the batter if you want the actual cake to look like it's orange. You can do that too, or you can just add some orange slices on top just to be decorative. You don't have to eat them. Your guests can if they want. You could if you want to, obviously, but if you're trying to stay low on the sugar, you may not want to. Cut a slice really isn't that big of a deal, but that's personal preference. Okay, that's it. Now we're going to top it on the cake. I put mine on a cutting board. Even though it's completely cool, I don't have to do that. I probably don't need to, but I think I want it there in case I decide to slice into it. Spread out that parchment, top it on your cake. That's it. I'm leaving it like that. I like it rustic. And now take your orange that you already zested half of it for the cake. Do it for the top. I think that's just about right. Obviously there's more on the other side. You can just sort of flick it. You don't want big, huge clumps, so be careful as it may clump. That's it. That's your low-carb orange loaf cake. Enjoy!